Hey, what's up? My name is Miles. I go by Market Milli here on YouTube. Thanks for checking out my video. In today's video, I'm going to be going over what I've experienced in my first year of full-time day trading. I'm going to be sharing my strategy and how I trade now and showing a little bit of my profits. So someone that wants to get in the industry or is interested in potentially wanting to learn, they can get a sense of the realities of what someone could possibly make after 1 year of devoting themselves to this craft day in and day out and never giving up. So here it is. Follow me and enjoy the video. All right, so get comfortable here. So my first year full-time day trading, what can you expect if you want to get into this field? What did I experience? That's what you want to know in this video. That's what I'm going to share with you. To say that my first year was difficult would be an understatement for sure. It was probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to do because there was a lot of it that I had to figure out about myself, and I had to learn a lot about myself. And I think trading is a lot to do with, or successful trading has more to do with psychology than it does about strategy. And I heard that before, but I never fully understood what that meant. And going through my first year and experiencing the things that I've experienced has really got me to understand and see for myself what exactly that means. So I'm just gonna go over my journey here and kind of do it in a bit of chronological order, and I'll go through it quick because I do want to go over my trade setup now and how I trade and some analytics to show the improvements I've made towards the end of the year and to the start of this new year. So I first started trading back in September 2021 was when I was introduced to trading. And I started trading live in October after learning some indicators and technical analysis from some friends that shared some courses with me. And I thought I was ready, so I started trading live funds 1 month after learning the basics, basically. So I was trading then, and March 2021 comes along, and I've come to the decision that trading is something I want to pursue, and I want to give it my all. So I decided to leave my job with about a year's worth of cushion to pay for my expenses. During that time, I heard people experiencing beginner's luck, maybe like having a huge win and then giving it all up. I never experienced that. My equity chart was a downtrend from the very beginning. I would experience some highs and then it would be followed by lows, taking a step forward to take 2 steps back. Constantly. There were even times of like depression, anxiety, the stresses of the reality of me giving up a really good job that I enjoyed doing, but I felt like this was potentially going to lead me to a better life and the complete life that I desired. A life that has more freedom, more flexibility, more time to spend with my family, to do things that I want to do and not just constantly be stuck at work, which is what the reality of that job was at the time. So yeah, like I was going through that year when I went full time, going through that year, experiencing the ups and the downs, never giving up though. So through my research into this whole industry, one thing that I found out about was these prop firms And what prop firms are is basically they'll fund good traders with a certain amount of capital to trade with. So I figured, I keep trying to flip these $1,000 accounts or $500 accounts to, you know, 10,000 or whatever, even doubling a $500 account to $1,000. That's a 100% return. And realizing now that's not a safe way to grow your income, because yes, although you can double your money, you can also lose that money very quickly. And the correct way was actually to take smaller amounts of risks, like 1% or lower even. Right now I'm trading with 0.25% because I'm trying to build the consistency and really trying to gain that confidence in my certain type of trading before I start increasing risk. And I want to build a buffer so that I can increase the risk. So I found out about funding, and then I found out about paper trading. So paper trading basically allows you to trade live market conditions, and you can set your account size to whatever, but it's like you're trading with real money, but you're not. And had I known about this earlier, at the start of my journey, I definitely would have saved myself a lot of money for sure, and potentially a lot of heartache too, because when you lose money, it really hurts. So finding out about funding and then finding out about paper trading, what I decided to do was take a step back from trading real life capital and just experiment and see if I can actually pass one of these funded or prop firm evaluations. Because in order for you to get funded by one of these prop firms, you have to pass an evaluation. For example, you're trying to trade with or you're trying to gain $100,000 funded account. A rule that a prop firm might have is in one day you can't lose 5%, maximum of 5%. And in total, overall, to your account, you can't lose a maximum of 10%. So that was the rules I was playing around with on my paper trading account, just to gain experience, gain confidence that is this even something I could do? And I actually did it twice. I passed it twice on my paper trading account, which was just practice, no real life money involved, a lot less emotions involved. So I was able to do it twice. So I decided, okay, before I fully commit to starting a prop firm evaluation challenge, I'm gonna go back and trade with my personal capital so I can get the feel again for the emotions that come with trading with real money. And when I did that, all the confidence I built up through paper trading, through practice, was all lost. And at that point, I felt lost. I didn't know what I was doing wrong. On paper trading, things were going well, but when money came into the equation, the emotions were just too strong. And I think at that point then, that's when I came to realize that I think my biggest hurdle at this point is myself. Like, I know how to read the charts. I've proven myself to be profitable on practice. But what is the difference between practicing and real life action that I can't get over that hurdle? And I kept pushing myself. And I just got to a point where I was just so low, because it was coming near October. It was getting close to October, and I knew that the money that I had to live off of was starting to run low, and it was going to run out soon. And it got to that point where I felt like I had nothing left to lose. And I told myself, like, if this is something you want to do, if this is something you want to try, you got to try everything you can. So at that point, at my lowest point in my journey, because I felt like I've been going at this for close to a year now, and I haven't seen the success or even like the consistency that I was looking for. And going into it, I was very confident that I could figure this out in that amount of time. But trading has it could really humble you. The markets could really humble you. It made me lose my ego. It's actually made me a better person overall in all aspects of my life. And one thing I realized is to be a disciplined trader, to be a patient trader, you have to be a disciplined and patient person in your personal life as well. And that's one of the major changes that I implemented and that I made, that I think helped me in my trading as well. And yeah, I think 2022 was a great year, but not great in the ways that I was expecting. 2022, my first year trading, I look back at it now, and I look at it as a year that I was planting the seeds and I was watering them. And now I'm hoping that 2023 is the year that I can start seeing those seeds grow slowly, and I'm okay with that. Making the shift from in mindset to focus on the process, rather than focusing on the profits, has allowed me and assisted me in actually starting to make more profits, which is pretty crazy. But that's really, like, in your first year, you can't try to get rich your first year. You have to learn the skill first and get consistent and find consistency. And once you find that, you can turn it up. And I'm finding that now, but I am a little bit afraid to turn it up. I think I still need maybe a few months, maybe a few weeks of more consistency before I turn it up a little bit and start increasing my returns. So at my lowest point, knowing that I had nothing left to try, and knowing that I've been practicing for this funded evaluation, knowing that I only have a few months left before my nest egg expires, I decided I'm going to take a funded evaluation. What do I have to lose? I've lost it all already. Might as well take my shot. So before doing that, I got down and prayed. I really want this, God. Like, I've given it my all. I've worked my ass off. Every day I show up to the markets. I get punched in the face. I come back every day with a smile on my face, thankful for this opportunity. Why? Why am I not seeing the results yet? I've put in the work. I've dedicated myself. Why am I not seeing the results yet? And it made me realize some things, like when I started that funded evaluation, I decided I'm really going to buckle down. I'm going to be strict and follow my rules, the rules that I set for myself. And I did that. And trading on the prop firm evaluation, trading with more capital, risking less, being in control of risk, understanding that it's really helped with my psychology, being okay with getting in and out of trades, because trading with large capital, you could be in and out in a few minutes and make a really good amount of money, as opposed to trading my own personal capital, which I'm trying to hold the move from the bottom to the top or the top to the bottom. It's very hard to do that. It's very rare that you can do that before the market comes back and takes you out for a loss. Another thing that I found out about was this thing called monk mode. So I started monk mode at the same time that I started my evaluation, my funded evaluation challenge. Basically what monk mode is you're cutting out all distractions in your life other than what's most important to your goals. You can look it up on YouTube. It's helped me a lot, and it's made me realize a lot of things as well during that time. I cut out social media, realized what a distraction that is, comparing myself to others, and or just being mindlessly entertained to waste time. Basically, it was not doing me any good, and it wasn't helping me reach the destination that I wanted to reach. So I cut social media out, I read more books, I worked out, I stopped drinking coffee. That was another thing. I think drinking coffee was leading me to feel anxious while I was trading and throughout the day. And that doesn't help with your emotions. If you're feeling anxious, you're feeling emotions, you're not thinking clearly. Realize that fear and greed, why they are the enemies of us traders, are because fear takes your mind to the past. Thinking about previous losses or times that trade goes in your way and then comes back and hits you out at loss or break even. And then greed takes your mind into thinking about the future while you're in profit. For example, while you're in profit, the trade is going your way. You start thinking about all this money that you're going to make, what you're going to buy with it, what you're going to do when you make all this money. You're not thinking about the present and what's actually going on in front of you with the charts. How I combated that was I've created a morning routine for myself, which includes praying and meditating and education to get my mind right and to be mentally prepared and awake and in the right mindset to enter the charts at the given time that I'm planning to enter the charts. When I started that evaluation account, I really buckled down. I got strict with myself. I told myself, if this is my last shot before I have to consider going back to work, finding a job, and maybe slowing down on the trading, or maybe going trading part-time, having a full-time job, because I do have a family, I do have a mortgage that I have to pay, I do have these financial commitments. I'm really going to give it my all and stop fucking around and be disciplined. And that's when it all turned around. So I don't know if this is going to continue. I sure hope so. I hope this is the start of the growth and consistency. But 2022 ended off very positively for me ever since I started that evaluation challenge. So I'm gonna go into my screen here. And I'm just gonna go over some analytics to show when I started my evaluation account or my evaluation challenge. This is my P&L, basically my profit loss. This is my chart to show my progression. my progression is obviously in a downward trend. I would experience these highs followed by lower lows. I would win a little bit and I would give it all back and lose more than I made. And it was like that. And it slowly started to get to a point where like the wins were getting bigger and the losses were getting smaller, although I was still overall in the negative. But I was progressing. In my head, I was progressing. I was learning. And here at this point, I'm starting to slow down trading on Binance, because with the funded evaluation, it's really impossible to trade crypto. Oh, that's another big change I made. For the first like 3 quarters, possibly first 3 quarters of the year, I was mostly trading crypto. And for the last quarter of the year, I had to trade indices because that was what was available to trade for the funded evaluation. And I think that actually helped me out a lot as well, because I heard that the reason why crypto can be so volatile is because there's no regulations on crypto. There's so much manipulation in the markets that it's really hard to find a consistent direction for the markets to move. Whereas with indexes, it's illegal to manipulate these prices. If you get caught, you could go to jail. And I think it still happens, but it happens a lot less than it does with crypto. So I would say these markets are definitely a lot easier to trade, but I don't look back and regret my time trading crypto, because it put me through the ringer. It put me to the test. It put my technical analysis skills to the test. It's like I was a bird pushed off a cliff and just told learn to fly. So now coming into these markets that move a little bit more predictably, I'm seeing a lot more success. But it came from me being battle tested from crypto that might have led to the newfound success that I'm experiencing trading these new markets. So I'm just gonna go over now. So remember, my previous equity curve was clearly a downtrend. Now you can see, now I'm creating higher highs followed by lower highs. It's now on the opposite trend. Now it's going on an uptrend, and this is from October to January. So that's not just 1 month or 1 week of data, that's 3 months of data. That's my current equity chart. I hope to continue that. Nothing's guaranteed. Things can change in the markets, and I may have to readjust. I may take a dip, but that's all part of the process now, and I understand that, and I've accepted that as well. Here you can see my win percentage is just a little over 50%, but I'll explain why for those that may not understand why that could still be a profitable strategy. Here as well, you can see longs and shorts, meaning longs meaning I'm trying to make money as the price goes up, and short means I'm trying to make money as the price goes down. It's equally profitable. So meaning I don't have a bias. I don't prefer to go short. I don't prefer to go long. I'm able to see the charts clearly to be able to capitalize whichever way the chart wants to go. Now here, I'll go over some of my my wins and how much I've made. how long it takes, to give you an idea. I'm sure that's something that you want to know if you're potentially wanting to get into this field or interested in this field. So the reason why a 50% win rate can still be profitable is because, like, I got winners that are like $268 in 36 seconds, $79 in 7 minutes, $108 in 2 minutes, $137 in a minute. My wins are equaling a lot more than when I take a loss. Loss 31, 44, 49. And they're not all going to be winners. You're going to take a string of losses, especially if you're, for me, my win rate is 50%, right? So I have a 50-50 shot. So 41 minus 41 minus 46. Look, $300 in 3 minutes. $245 in 7 minutes. And then, yeah. String of losses. All on the same day. Over trading. Losing control of my psychology. Unfortunately, on that day, I made up those losers with and ended the day with some pretty solid winners that made up for those losers. So here's basically how the last 3 months of last year went for me. October was when I first started the challenge, and I was quite active on it. November was my birthday, and then I got sick, so I think I traded half that month. And then December I also traded half that month because the holidays, and I also got sick. Here, I'll show you. Okay, so here, October 17th, I started my funded evaluation, and here you can kind of see how the days go for me. So solid way to start my evaluation, having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 winning days and 1 losing day. Here's November. I took the second week, or like I took some days off for my birthday, and then my sister was here visiting and she left to go back to California, and this is when I started monk mode. And then yeah, took some losses, followed by 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, a week straight of wins, and then I took 3 losses, decided to take the next 2 days off, followed by a solid week of wins again. That was November. So yes, I'm still taking losers, but overall the months are green because my winners eat up my losers, and I'm winning more than I'm losing. December, look at this. So started off the month strong, and then I got sick, continued to trade through it, then I got really sick, tried to trade again, and then the holidays came around, and I just got a trade in there just because I wanted. You have to trade, you have to execute a trade within a certain amount of days, or your account becomes inactive and your challenge is cancelled, basically, if you don't take a trade within a certain amount of days. So I wanted to make sure that I don't risk that, so I decided to get a trade, and it happened to be a winner. And then January, off to a good start. Okay, so last thing I want to show. Oh wait, here. So I'll show some of my trades and some of my setups. So here's one solid trade that I took. This was on December 22nd. As you can see, price is in a downtrend, consolidated. In the consolidation, what did I see? I saw a push up that failed, and then another push up that failed, and then a break through support. And that was enough for me to enter the trade because I had enough confluences matching the direction, and it ended up going straight to a win. Same thing here. Consolidation, broke out, and went straight to take profit. Same thing here. What happened here? Price is in a downtrend. It broke through this area of support previously here. It acted as support. It broke through it, created new support. It tested that previously broken support, flipped to resistance twice, and then volume came in to follow the current market direction. Same thing here. A lot of them are sells. We've been in a bear market, so a lot of them are sells, but same thing, bearish market structure. Here is support, support that broke, tested it, flipped to resistance, same thing. And then this is the last trade that I took. I took this one, I took this one today. I got a nice 3-to-1. So for example, if I was risking to lose $100, if it went down here where I set my exit, where I wanted to exit, if the trade went this way, and 3 times the reward if the trade went in my direction. So this one ended up going straight to my take profit as well, and it continued further up, but I was satisfied with that 3-to-1. And yeah, I don't like to be holding trades for too long. It's something that I learned that it just suits my personality to be in and out of trades. It's happened to me too many times where I try to hold a trade too long for more profits, and it ends up coming all the way back to where I entered, and I end up getting out for nothing. When like, say you're already up like $1,000, and then you see all those profits that you were up disappear. It's pretty shitty. So I'd rather just take what the market gives me in that initial push and be satisfied with whatever it may be. So I'll break this one down to show you guys exactly what I saw here, why I took this trade, and then you can get a better understanding of how I'm currently trading. So the same thing, just using TradingView. This was MetaTrader 4, MetaTrader 5. This is where I have to execute my trades on right now. Alright, so what did I see? Starting off on the higher time frame, I'll use the 4-hour. So what I'm seeing here on the 4-hour is we are in a overall uptrend. Prices are making higher highs and higher lows. What did I also see here was, yes, price broke through this area which acted as support previously. It broke through that, and then it acted as resistance, and price was having a hard time getting through that. Okay, now price finally broke through that, and then it came back to this area here. So now I'm wanting to see if price can flip this area of resistance down here now to support, because now we're above this price. So we'll see if buyers wanted to hold this price up at this level, which is a key level that on a higher time frame acted as support and acted as resistance. So what did I see here that made me take this entry? So price came down to these previous highs. I originally had it here, but price wanted to go down a little bit lower, down to these highs. So what I was seeing was, okay, yes, overall higher time frame analysis, in my head price is bullish in an uptrend, but on a lower time frame price looks like it's currently on a downtrend. This is what I was seeing at the time. At the time, this is exactly what I was seeing. So current lower time frame was currently in a downtrend. So what I wanted to see was price attempt to push through this level here, where this move stalled and then it came back up, found resistance, and now it's testing support again. So this is when, now I know that we're at a key level on higher time frame. Now I'm looking for an entry signal on the lower time frame, and on the lower time frame I tend to use the tend to use the 5 minute and then the 3 minute. I used to live off the 1 minute time frame, but it was too volatile. There's too much manipulation, and in my opinion there's too much uncertainty. 3 minute, you can see how fast my trades happen. A lot of them are under 5 minutes. So it doesn't mean that you have to trade on the 1 minute to be in and out of trades super quick. So what did I see here? Potential double bottom. This is the area of resistance that it needs to break through. This is the area of support that it needs to break through if price wants to continue down. If price potentially breaks through here, because we're at a key level on a higher time frame, I may look to take entry to buy and be prepared to manage my positions aggressively, because on the lower time frame we're still currently in a downtrend. I knew I was entering a little bit earlier than maybe on, like, when you have a guarantee, like there's no guarantees, but more of a sure direction. I was trying to get an early entry for maybe potentially a higher risk to reward. So let me play this out here. So price pushes through, still watching. Now as you can see, price basically stalled at the very same area that it tried to push through and couldn't break through before. And this is a big bullish candle. So if I can get the next one, there's a probability, because there's no guarantees, but you're just going with probability that if it breaks through here, it might come up to here, it might come up to here. And that's all I was looking for, because if you look on the 15 minute, I set my target here because this is the area where price consolidated and previously broke through. So I felt that I would either try to catch a reversal or try to catch a retracement back to this area of resistance or supply, but trail my stops aggressively, because I know that we're currently in a downtrend, to potentially catch a nice big move. So what happens here, I'll go back to the lower time frame so you can see exactly what happens. So I'm currently trading a breakout style. I used to trade breakout and retest, but I found that I just couldn't find consistency and confidence in entering the retest, and sometimes it would retest and then come back and continue down, so it was stopping me out a lot. So I just figured I'll just trade the breakout, and as it breaks out, I move my stops to even, protecting my position, and let whatever happens at that point. Once my stops are at even, there's no stress. You're not going to lose anything. You can only make something or lose nothing. So let me play this out. So I'm not entered here yet. I basically put a stop limit so that as price pushes through, it automatically enters me in. I'm not the one going to decide. I've decided based on it breaking through this area of resistance that I want to enter for a potential long or a potential buy to take profits for at this area here. So I'm waiting. See, price tries to go down again, doesn't even get near here, and then followed by a big bullish engulfing candle that basically eats up both of these candles here. Tries to push down again. There's a long wick that gives me confirmation that buyers are trying to push the price up. Sellers are getting rejected. There's my breakout that entered me into the trade. This is my 1-to-1 target. This is my 2-to-1, and this is my 3-to-1 target. Basically at a 1-to-1, I'll likely put my stops to even, because 1-to-1 is, if I'm risking $100, my profit is $100 at this point. There's no point of being up $100 to come back and lose $100. It comes back a little bit. I wasn't too worried. When this happens, I tend to wait to allow the candle to close to really see what is going on, because sometimes pushes down just to come back up. So there, this is great confirmation. A nice strong candle that closes strong above this area here. So price is at 1-to-1 at this point. I'm moving my stops to break even. Now I have no risk on there. And price shot up and tapped my target. And that was my trade. I'll show you guys. Had I held, I could have made way more money off this trade. But sometimes when you're satisfied with what you got, you just got to take it, because nothing is guaranteed. Price could have came up here and shot all the way back down and continued the downtrend that it was on the lower time frame. And I knew I was entering aggressively here for a potential greater risk to reward, and I got that greater risk to reward that I wanted, and I was satisfied with that. But yeah, that's basically how my first year went. If that inspired you, motivated you, if you learned something, leave it in the comments. Love hearing from other traders. Share some of your experiences in your first year. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, do whatever you want. I appreciate you staying here till the end of the video, if you're still here from the very beginning. And I wish you nothing but the best in 2023. Peace out for now. I go by Milli. See you in the futures. Peace.